Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be going over this week's slate of NFL games and predicting who's going to come out on top in each game. Before we get started though, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. It would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. With that said, let's dive right into the video and I hope you enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to my week 11 predictions now. We're starting to get into the meat of this NFL season, really where games start to get really interesting with playoff implications. And, let's start right off the bat with the Colts versus the Buffalo Bills. Colts ended up winning that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. Very tight game. Ended up winning only by 6 points. A little bit surprising, I guess. Could be a word that you could use there. You'd expect the Colts to really destroy that game. Like the Bills ended up being the Jets. But I think that the Bills got to win this game. I mean, I think this is a winnable game for them at home, coming off a big win against the Jets. A lot of momentum on their side. I think that the Bills with Josh Allen will be a little bit too much. Now we've got the Dolphins and the New York Jets. And for me, I think the Dolphins are going to probably end up winning this game. I mean, they did a fantastic job against that Baltimore Ravens team last week. Beating them on Thursday Night Football 22-10. The defense really came alive, and especially after a Jets offense really struggled last week, I think that the Jets are going to continue to struggle this week. Obviously, they couldn't really get anything done against that Buffalo Bills team. This Dolphins team looked productive in the second half, throwing the football with Tua Tagovailoa when he was in the game, and defensively, they were absolutely excellent. So I think that the Dolphins have got to be the favorites, even on the road, going up against the New York Jets next Sunday. Now we've got the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. And the Texans versus Titans game is going to be a very interesting game. Obviously, the Titans coming off a big win against the Saints. A little bit of a nail-biter towards the end, but they were able to get that out. And then the Titans are coming off the bye week. They did not look good before the bye week with a matchup against the Miami Dolphins. That was just an ugly game, and they couldn't really get anything going in there. I don't think the bye week is going to help them in any way, shape, or form. I mean, this Titans team is 8-2. They're playing good football. They're running the ball effectively, and they're doing what they need to do, especially defensively, which was a major concern coming to the year to get the job done. Although that game was a little bit closer than they would have liked against the Saints last week, I still think that they're definitely the team to beat against the Texans. Now we've got the Raiders and the Bengals, and I think this is a big game for the Bengals here. This is a game where it really defines your season in a way, because remember, they started off really, really hot, cooled down a little bit, and now they're right in the middle of that division that they're in with the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns. And some of those teams are struggling. Obviously, the Ravens coming off a tough loss last week, the Steelers coming off a tie last week, and the Browns coming off a loss last week. This is a big game for the Bengals to really go out there and be like, hey, we're still the team that we thought we were earlier in the year. And of course, after the Raiders kind of got beaten up a little bit on Sunday Night Football last week, against the Chiefs, I think that the Bengals are going to be the team that have to win that game, and I like them in this game. I think that they're just going to simply want it more, and they need it more against that Raiders team. Now we've got the Steelers and the Chargers, and the Chargers have been up and down this year so far. I was expecting them to play well against the Minnesota Vikings. But I don't think they were. Yeah, they didn't end up beating the Minnesota Vikings, which was kind of interesting. I thought that they could have won that game. They ended up losing. The Steelers have been a team that are always in games, but they're just such a lackluster team in the NFL this year. It's going to be an interesting game. I don't think this is going to be one of the better games of the week. But after you lose to a Lions team that hasn't, or rather, after you tie against a Lions team that hasn't won a game all year, I think the Steelers are going to need to come out with a lot of confidence on that. Their defense has been really good. It's really their offense that's been causing problems. But I think that defense is going to be able to keep them in the game against the Chargers. And if Big Ben's able to do something, then I think that they'll be able to get the win against LA. Now we've got the Patriots and the Falcons, Thursday Night Football. This is going to be the easiest game of the week for me, I think. Falcons obviously got absolutely manhandled by the Dallas Cowboys last Sunday. The Patriots coming off a big win against the Cleveland Browns, and they are playing really good football. Mac Jones looks excellent, throwing the football with confidence, with purpose and accuracy. And that defense is coming alive too. So I really like what the Patriots team is doing there, and I think that this is a game that they can win. Now we've got the Lions versus the Cleveland Browns. This is a massive game for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, they dropped a kind of a bad one against the Patriots last week, losing big time to that Patriots team. But this is a week where you're playing up against a pretty bad defense. You're going up against an offense that's been banged up and that hasn't really been able to do anything all year. And if you can get some pass rush, especially with Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, and some of the other guys on that Cleveland Browns defensive line, then you can really make that line's offense pay against if you're able to get some momentum going. I think this is a perfect game for them to get momentum going, and I think the Browns should definitely be the favorites going into this one. We've got the Ravens and the Bears in this one. This is going to be a big game for both teams. I mean, obviously the Bears want to stick around and try and stay in that playoff race. I mean, at 3-6, they look kind of out of it. They're coming off the bye week. The Ravens are coming off a tough loss against Miami, but I think against the Bears team that has struggled with Justin Fields at quarterback, he's been successful at times, but not super consistent. So if you can pressure him, like the Ravens were really able to pressure Miami defensively last week, and those were the times where Jacoby Brissett couldn't really get anything going. I think if the Ravens bring the pressure against the Bears and really are able to keep Justin Fields from extending plays with his legs, I think that they'll be able to beat that Chicago team. Now let's go to the 49ers and the Jags, and I think the 49ers have got to win this game. The Jags have been struggling all year. The 49ers, had a tough matchup against the Rams last week on Monday Night Football, but I still think that they're going to be a team that they're still going to be in the conversation heading into these final few weeks of the season. If they can get some wins going and start to build some momentum, I think that they can make some noise, especially in that really tough NFC West. They've struggled all year, but this is a perfect team to beat up against and really gang up on in the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that they can get the win and try and get some momentum going towards the end of this season. Now we've got the Cowboys and the Chiefs. This is a big game, and I think that we could see a lot of offense. After the Chiefs really did a number on that Raiders team last week, and the Cowboys did a number on the Falcons, I think this is anybody's game. Personally, I like the Cowboys offense more than the Chiefs offense this year, and that might be a little bit surprising. With the Dallas Cowboys being a team that's been really good offensively, and the Chiefs being a team that's been really good offensively this year. Obviously, the Chiefs have not been as good offensively as they have been in previous years, but they've still been a really solid team offensively this year. I think I like the Cowboys more on offense. I think they have a better running game. They've got a better passing game. I think Dak Prescott's played better than Patrick Mahomes this year. So I just like the Cowboys offense more, and more importantly, I like the Cowboys defense too. I think Micah Parsons is having an excellent year. So I just think even against the Chiefs on the road, I think the Cowboys. I got a feeling with this Cowboys team right now, and I think that they could be the team to win this game. Now we've got the Packers and the Vikings. Packers coming off a big win this week against the Seattle Seahawks with the shutout. Big defensive game for them. It'll be interesting to see with the Aaron Jones injury. He got kind of banged up in the game last week against Seattle Seahawks. He hopefully will be okay. Don't know yet at this point at the date of recording. We've also got the Vikings, coming off a big win. Really were able to run the football effectively, and were able to throw the football effectively. And Kirk Cousins, I think, is doing a fantastic job right now. He's playing a really good game, and he always flies under the radar. He's one of those better quarterbacks in the NFL. Does not get the love he deserves, but I still think the Packers are going to win here. I mean, they were the better team. They played really well defensively last week against a solid team with especially with Russell Wilson back, who looked a little bit iffy, missed a couple throws, but I think the Packers are the team in this game. Now we've got the Panthers and the Washington football team. I like the Panthers. Big win against the Arizona Cardinals last week. Obviously, no Kyler Murray, or rather no Kyler Murray. They were without some guys. Let's just say that that Cardinals team. But I think that the Panthers with Cam Newton, they've got. I mean, Christian McCaffrey looked great last week too. The defense is playing well. Obviously, Washington did beat Tampa Bay. But I like the Panthers. I like the momentum that they're building, especially with Cam Newton on the roster. I mean, they're making moves, and I think that it's paying off for them. But I really like what this Panthers team is growing there in Carolina. Now we've got the New Orleans Saints and the Philadelphia Eagles. I absolutely love how this Philadelphia Eagles team is playing. They're 4-6 right now. They beat the Broncos last week. And I think they're a team that's really contending in that NFC East. Obviously, the Cowboys are going to run away with the division. But with that said, I still think that the Eagles are a team that can get away with some wins. And the Saints right now are a depleted roster. Their quarterback, obviously, Jameis Winston, out for the year. But more importantly, they're a team that couldn't quite beat the Titans last week. They're injuries. They're banged up. They don't have a true number one wide receiver. Darius Slay's played an excellent year all year. Jalen Hurts is looking pretty good running the football and doing what he needs to be doing. And Devontae Smith had a really big week last week. So I think all those things are in the Eagles' favor, and I really like their momentum heading against the Saints. Now we've got the Cardinals and the Seahawks, and I think this is the game where Russell Wilson gets it back and rights the ship. Obviously, last week was a tough game for him. Loss against the Packers, and this might be surprising that I have them in this one. But I really do believe that the Seahawks are going to put up a fight here. Russell Wilson's second week back from injury after that, finger injury. And I think that, with that said, he's going to be a little bit more comfortable throwing, and I think that's going to really be the difference maker for them against the Cardinals. And if Tyler Lockett can get going, and DK Metcalf can get going, and Chris Carson can get back, that's going to be a really potent offense against that Cardinals defense, who has played well this year. Obviously, the Cardinals offense has been good this year. But with the Cardinals being a little banged up too, I think I like the Seahawks in this one. A little bit of a surprise pick maybe. And then we've got the Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have got to rebound after a tough loss to the Washington football team. I think they do that against a pretty bad Giants team. And I think that they get the job done on Monday Night Football. So watch for the Bucs to win. So with that said, that's going to be my game picks. Do you agree with them? Why or why not? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below.
And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, see ya.